Yes. All right. So I mean, this is kind of a weird time for us to be doing this, but I was a little busy over the weekend. Can you guess what I was doing?
Playing Mario Party.
Oh, well, that and there was another thing I did.
Maybe you made a new video.
Yeah, maybe I did. So okay, I made a new iceberg video, and this one I was quite proud of. The General Nintendo 64 iceberg, which I think I can actually show it. I gotta pull up the iceberg itself. Just give me one sec, because this one was actually a lot more dense than I thought it was gonna be, and it turned into a 35-minute video. Oh man, my images, my video images thing is really full. Okay, I got it finally. Jeez. Share screen, yes. Okay, window. All right, let me get this on here. Ah, yeah, here we go. So here's the iceberg I did a video on. Oh, I gotta probably make this a little bigger and zoom in like this. Yeah, so there was a lot of interesting topics here. I covered almost all the things minus the Catastrophe Crow entries, because there's this one got, I think the creator went a little overboard with the Catastrophe Crow stuff. Most of the bottom two are kind of filler, but despite that, this was a pretty decent one. I feel like a lot of this, I knew a decent amount of this stuff, but what did you think?
I actually really enjoyed the video. I actually am gonna say that I enjoyed this one more than the Mario one you made. For
Mario Party.
me, yeah, Mario Party. For me, this one I learned a lot of like new items that I had not known about, so it was pretty
Like
cool
what?
to see them. Um, the Hey You Pikachu one. You said something about the
Hate.
mic.
Oh yeah, the mic. Yeah, this one I also didn't quite know about until I researched it, because so shock of all shocks, voice recognition during the N64 era was not the best.
Yeah.
So the game was programmed with kids, and apparently I had some commenters mention that it was really only made for the typical American accent. So apparently British, Australian, maybe like a southern accent did not really work so well,
Yeah,
supposedly.
I think you even said that you have to talk in like a higher pitched
Oh
voice
yeah,
for it
that
to pick it
too.
up
It was for
properly.
kids. It was for kids, and they anticipated a higher pitched voice. If you talk like a normal adult, it wasn't as good.
To me, that's like
But
super weird. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but you also talked about the I forgot the name of it, but the Pokemon game that used to be in Blockbuster.
Pokemon Snap
Yeah, and
or
how
Stadium.
how Ekans was like a was left out of the game, but was still in
Yeah,
screenshots, right? So to
yeah,
me, that's like, yeah, that's kind of interesting. And you
yeah.
also
That was
mentioned, I
interesting.
think you said there's 63 Pokemon in the game. Ekans was supposed to be the 64th, but they like, I
Yeah,
don't know, maybe some
it got
coding
cut,
problem.
which
Yeah.
kind of a weird thing, kind of a weird
Nintendo's
quirk.
right. Nintendo's obsession with the 64 number, which is just hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. For me, I was kind of surprised about, of all things, the Tom and Jerry fighting game, because I legit have never heard of that. I thought this was a canceled game, but no, it was a fully released game. But I guess I don't know if it was full on shovelware. It got, like, as I mentioned, it got good reviews, but it did not look that good to me, honestly.
I It's interesting. I can't believe there's a Tom and Jerry game on the N64. Like, what would have driven that? Maybe the Tom and Jerry movie kind of drove some of the hype on that.
I should have checked if it came out with something, or if it was just a generic release for an old property. I
We've
don't know.
got to
It's interesting to
have
think.
money.
Oh, that was a. I mean, granted, the characters in the fighting game were from the original series, and nothing from that movie I remember. I forget the name of that movie, but the movie where they talk, which was really weird. The you got to have money clip.
Well, that's
That
from
was
the
pretty
yeah,
funny.
that's the Tom and Jerry movie, which I think was released in the late '90s. So I have to assume it's around the time of the N64 game, which is weird.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully, more people get to enjoy that iceberg. That sort of gave me the idea I might consider icebergs for other consoles if I can find any, and if no videos were made of them. That might be a good idea, but I will see. I might do a video on the tier list for what's this called? Mario Party minigame tier list, because I fell behind on that. What the hell is wrong with my mouse? Okay. There we go. All right, so I think with that, we can sort of transition to our main topic today, which would be video game exploits that we abuse. I did not think of a clever way to sort of phrase this. I mean, we could talk about game glitches in general, but I kind of want to try to make it personal. Game exploits we personally took advantage of in our gaming careers.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody's got some that they've used over time, right? I could be talking about them all day. I could probably name one for every single game I've played. But I thought of this idea just because I was playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas over the weekend, and I was specifically using one. So, I kind of thought this would be a good topic. I'm gonna actually try to share my screen here. So anyway, I've been playing San Andreas, and keep in mind this is pre-definitive edition. This is the original San Andreas. So I've been playing that, and there's this mission in the game where you have to have $30,000 in the game to start the mission. So if you don't have money, you have to go collect it. And I don't know, if anybody's ever played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or any of the older Grand Theft Auto games, money doesn't come like easily in that game, right? Like there's tons of ways to get it, but it doesn't come in big bunches. You really have
big quantities.
You really have to farm to get that stuff. And I mean, like taxi missions, police missions, things like that requires a lot of work and a lot of time. So I was like, no, what's the easiest way to do this? So I actually came up with this one myself. I don't see anywhere on the internet about this, but I'm going to share my screen of what I did, because this to me
let's see it.
This was hilarious that I was able to do this. So I have actually a bunch of clips, but this is one of them. So all right, there we go. So this is the first one. So I figured this out, that you're able to, there's this mission.
You figured this out in a video with almost 1 million views. You figured this out.
No, this has nothing to do with the exploit. It's just talking about the driving school. Nobody realizes you can do this. So
all right, let's see it.
In this, you go to the driving school. All you have to do is hold RT. That's it. So I'm playing this on Xbox 360. So I'm holding the trigger, the right trigger. That's all you have to do. I'm going to mute it just because we don't need the sound.
Yeah, okay.
So all you have to do is hold the trigger. You don't have to click any analog stick or anything. And it didn't show it here, but you get like $50 every single time you do this.
No, don't tell me you do that repeatedly.
Yeah, all you do is you hold the RT button. You don't have to do anything else. And it'll just keep doing the mission over and over and over and over and over. So I sat there just holding the RT button. I actually wish I had a pair of like pliers or a rubber band. And it just did this over and over and over. And I was able to get the money that I needed. I did this for $30,000 to get the money that I needed. Because I couldn't.
That sounds like a big pain in the ass.
Yeah, you can see him. He's like turning here to try to get the car to spin. Avoid the spin. You just hold RT. You don't touch anything else. You can actually even just walk away and put a rubber band around the controller, and you'd be fine. So
one of those, huh?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
So it's you're sacrificing time. Your gameplay,
time, but you get to
your gameplay hours are probably inflated because of that. That's kind of a, I guess, if it's a way to earn money fast. I've only ever rented San Andreas. I don't remember that part, and I don't remember getting a lot of money outside of missions. Right. So I guess I'll take your word for it. But
I found this hilarious that you're able to do this, and it seems like nobody else has used it. But I mean, yeah, there's a mission like later in the game that it's for Zero. Yeah, that's his name, and you have to have $30,000. And unfortunately, I had bought a house in the game right before I realized you needed the
properties.
So it's like, oh my gosh, I just bought a property. Like, are you serious? So I had to.
But hey, isn't that part of your assets? That's part of your assets. That's part of your net worth, isn't it?
It is, but in the
you need cash on hand.
Game, yeah.
Oh, so it's like Fortune Street. You need cash on hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what a shame, man. What a shame. But this got the job done. It took like 2 hours, and I was able to power through. So,
I vaguely remember a mission where you needed to have a certain level in your swimming, and I remember I didn't swim at all in the game, so I had to like swim in circles. I mean, but I didn't abuse any glitches for that. I straight up had to just swim in circles.
That's the mission I had to do after this, where you have to get your lung capacity up. that is another one. I was like, are you serious right now? So I had to spend like an hour swimming.
Yeah, okay, well no glitches to fudge that one.
No.
Do you have I mean, Grand Theft Auto now anyway is kind of relevant in the news. Maybe we'll talk a bit about that one a little later. But they're kind of a disaster. There's probably a lot more glitches to abuse now all of a sudden. Oh, there was a actually there was a super weird one and I kind of want to share this before I forget. Hopefully I can find it. Okay. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, let me try to share this. Give me one sec, because this one's actually really funny. If it'll let me pause the damn video. Okay, let's remove that. Let me add mine. Stop sharing your thing, by the way. All right, because this is not really a useful exploit, but I do find this one very amusing. Oh, here we go. Okay. Do you? No, I gotta add it to the thing. God damn it. There we go. Okay. So
I like
make
the
this
head
bigger.
below.
Yeah, forget that. So, all right, you see this thing.
Yeah.
Apparently in Grand Theft Auto 3 in the re-release, if you want to increase the size of your vehicle, just wiggle back and forth, left and right. Look what happens to the vehicle very slowly over time.
Why is this
do you
happening?
Notice?
Yeah.
Do you notice? It's increasing in size.
That is so weird. This cannot be a real thing. I mean, it has to be, I guess.
Well, a lot. Isn't that the most bizarre thing?
That is weird.
Look how huge that vehicle is now.
That is crazy. Did they even test it, man? That's nuts.
I don't think so. That is such a really that I don't know. I don't want to get too down the rabbit hole of Grand Theft Auto yet. We might a little bit later. But besides that, can you?
Hang on. I do have one more I want to show on Grand Theft Auto. This one I always loved. So this is an exploit. This won't help you a ton in story missions, but this will help you with all like the side missions you have to do. Grand Theft Auto 4, for those that know, to complete the game 100%, you have to kill, I think it's 100 pigeons throughout the game.
Oh, fuck, I hate that.
You have to get on like crazy high rooftops and stuff. They're very hidden. So this one helps a lot for that, because when you're on the top of a rooftop, how do you get down super like easily without taking a ton of damage, right? There's no ladders or anything, no stairs. Mm-hmm. So here's one that I'm going to show that I used to use all the time. Okay, so number one, you can drive off the rooftop with a car, but everybody knows that one, right? Because you can see here, see the car, how it's all dented in the back. Yeah, that's because he drove off the building with a car. Everybody seems to know that one, right? But there's another one that's just not very well known. If you fall off the building, so just step off. You don't jump. You have to step off the building, and you land on a ledge, right? So you have to basically do almost like a fall to a small ledge, and then you roll off the ledge off the building. You'll see what I'm talking about shortly here. You take.
I think I vaguely remember this, but yeah.
So here,
I don't know how you're able to force this.
You'll see this happen right here.
Yeah, but let me see.
This is him with the car. Hang on, it's after this one. So this is with the car. He won't die.
Right, yeah, because the car absorbs.
Which is just so weird. But hang on, he's about to do another.
The car absorbed the impact.
He's at the top of a building, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to see that he's going to, off the ledge, he's just going to like fall off the ledge to a smaller one and then fall off the building. He won't die. So he hit the ledge. That's the ledge. He's falling. That would normally kill you.
I can't see it. Okay.
And here he didn't die.
Wait, the video skipped. The video was skipping. I didn't see any of that.
I'll play one more time. So okay, you can see that he's falling off the thing, right? He's falling off. Falls off the ledge. And he didn't die because you have to hit 2 ledges. If you hit 2 ledges, the game won't register it. So here he's just jumping off. He's gonna die.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But if he hit a smaller ledge before this big jump, he would not have died. Which is just such a weird exploit.
I think that was a quirk of the physics. I think I remember that was a quirk of the physics. Like the game, like negated your downward momentum because of it. It was weird.
You can actually see it here. See how he's like rolling, and then he stands up. If you're in mid stand animation, you won't die. Like that's where the
Interesting.
exploit occurs.
Interesting.
So I always thought this was really, and I can't find it anywhere online because maybe I feel like a lot of
I
people
remember
don't know
people
about this
talking about this on game forums, but it's not
Yeah.
that. I guess it's not that easy to explain, or it's like very.
It is hard
I don't
to
know, a little
explain, so
overly
it's tough.
technical. I
Right,
was
it's
never
tough to
able
show.
to force it to happen. I was very bad at forcing it to happen. I did used to play a lot of Grand Theft Auto 4 when that came out. Looking
Yeah.
back, I don't think it aged as well because there's just not as much to do outside of the DLCs that came out for it. Which is a
Right.
shame because Nico Bellic is one of my favorite Grand Theft Auto
Yeah.
protagonists.
Actually, this is my favorite Grand Theft Auto. I loved this game.
I like the driving physics the
Yeah.
best in
Yeah.
4. It was starting to go away from the arcadiness of the original trilogy to not the original trilogy, Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, 3. No, I mean 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. And it got to a little bit more realistic. And Grand Theft Auto 5 was fine, but I felt like the cars were too durable. I like the fragility of the vehicles in 4 a little bit. You actually have to drive decently if you want to have your car survive.
Yeah, I think it was a really good game, and I feel like nobody really talks about it anymore.
It had a good story, but again, there was like nothing else to do outside of the main story. In the world, there just wasn't much to discover, wasn't much to do. I felt like it was just very bland, in my opinion. The DLCs added a little bit, but not that much, honestly. Anyway, do you have any other major exploits that you can recall off the top of your head? Outside of GTA, if necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few. I guess I'll just share all mine all up front. Another one is, let me share my screen here. And by the way, if you guys like this topic, I have a ton of these, so I could go on for videos and videos. But these are just quick ones that I wanted to pull up. Everybody knows this one. This is the Missing No on original Pokemon Red and Blue. These are their first Pokemon games, and if you go to a town, you talk to this guy. You have to see. I'm just going to skip this part. You have to watch him catch the Pokemon, and then if you immediately fly to Cinnabar Island,
and you do the coast thing.
Yeah, you go off to the right to the coast.
Yeah,
all you got to do is swim on that edge.
The coast, I believe, had no proper data for wild encounters or something.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with that. And then you'll run into a Pokemon, and it'll be just a glitched up mess. Or it could be a Golduck or a Rhydon that's very high level. You could have that happen too.
Really, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, there's some weird.
I remember it was dependent on your name. Like your name pulled, like it pulled data from your name, and that changed. It wasn't always the glitchy, blocky mess. Sometimes it was a placeholder, like a ghost or a fossil, depending again on. There's the main one everyone knows about.
And it's funny because it's level 146. You can only go to level 100 in this game, so this one's really funny.
Was it 99?
No, it was actually 100.
Okay.
So. Yeah, see how he's Raichu's 100 here.
Pause it real quick. Have Missing No showing in full, but go on.
Yeah. So, the real thing that you want to, the reason people want to do this glitch is because what it does is it makes an infinite number of items in your 6th item slot, which is so random. But whatever's in your 6th item slot, it'll make an infinite amount of that. So what people would do is they would just put their rare candies, which is how you it's a free level up.
Or Master Balls.
Or the Master Ball, which guarantees a Pokemon is caught. So people would just put that in the 6th item slot, and hey, you got everything you need. So I always thought that was just the best exploit, and I think who's played the original.
One of the earliest, I think, most people can point to. Real quick, I did find there was an old video. I don't remember who made it, but there was a YouTuber who basically explains game glitches and why they happen. He did a video on Missing No explaining exactly why it happens and why it looks the way it does. It's super technical, very dry, but I find it very interesting to listen to.
Do you remember his name? The YouTuber's name?
I can't, like, if I look up videos on like missing let me try to do that real quick while I try to explain this. Give me 1 sec. But the way Missing No looks right now, you see the blockiness of it, and so the reason all Pokemon in the game actually originally looked like that because they had super limited capacity in these cartridges. They actually did not have the means to store all of the sprites of the Pokemon in real time. They actually had to be drawn up in real time. So what they did was all the Pokemon looked like blocks like that. When the game called them, they took it used like a scanner to draw the Pokemon in real time using these blocks. Missing no is actually garbage data, I think, coming from environmental graphics, or not even, maybe just background code. So that's why it looks like that. It was unable to draw the graphics, so it just spat out the original graphics that all the Pokemon looks like under the hood. So let me see. Missing no explained. Missing no explained. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, yeah, okay, so the YouTube channel's Retro Game Mechanics Explained. So it may not necessarily be glitches, but yeah, this guy, the video is like 20 minutes, and he explains exactly how it goes down in much more elaborate technical details. So I recommend that guy.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I mean, when it comes to these Pokemon things, people will research, night and day, because this is such a beloved game. Everybody loves this game. From back
it's really dissected pretty heavily.
Right, yeah, including me. I mean, this is one of my favorite games of all time. So it's just such an interesting exploit, and people really, really used it. So I do have one more that I want to show, and this is actually not for this game specifically, but maybe this will resonate with some of our viewers here. So this, what I have up here, is Call of Duty 4, because I remember using this specifically in Call of Duty 4, but this works in most Call of Duties. This works in Halo. It's really a lot of these kind of games, and that is the exploit of so in these campaigns, if you're on the hardest difficulty, you'll definitely be using this. There are invisible lines you can't see, and the game will give you a checkpoint when you pass those lines. So
the flags,
in very, very hard modes, what do you want to do? Just cross the line as soon as you can, so you just get the checkpoint. So I just pulled this up because I want to show that you can see here, he just crossed an invisible line. Like, it's not something you can see, but it's something you have to know. The game saved and gave him a checkpoint as he crossed that line. I just pulled this up. I couldn't find what I was talking about, but I just want to show the invisible.
But yeah,
line.
Be using the checkpoints, like rushing through it, getting the checkpoint, then dying immediately.
Yeah, I used it time and time again in Halo 3, I remember, because that game was really hard on the hardest difficulty. So what I would do is I would just power through that checkpoint line as soon as I possibly could, and that's how you got past some of the harder places. Now, I mean, since developers have gotten a lot smarter, they've said, okay, you're not going to get the checkpoint until you defeat every enemy in the vicinity. But this is one I used in a lot of Call of Duties on veteran mode and a lot of Halo games, because yeah.
Speaking of Halo, I just want to add an anecdote too for Halo. Halo, I don't know how many games have this provision, but I remember with Halo, if you got a checkpoint and you were in a bad position, what I have found out on my own, and the information is probably out there about this, but I didn't like where I was, and I wanted to revert my checkpoint. Let me get rid of that. I wanted to.
Well, actually, no, I do. I want to show one more thing based on what you're talking about. Yeah, as I was looking for like what I was talking about, this guy, let me see if I can just pull up the video real quick. He got stuck. Yeah. This is going in like let me just turn down the speed here.
Turn up the speed.
He gets stuck in a checkpoint where he dies every time he spawns. Look. He just insta dies, and he's on the hardest difficulty, so they kill you instantly.
Yeah, so Halo, I know, has a provision for this, which you can abuse.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, because this is a huge problem too. Eventually, he finally kills the guy. I mean, but that was really annoying.
But so there's actually a provision for this in Halo, which you can abuse, where if you die right after checkpoint, after I think like a few deaths, the game will set you back one checkpoint. And I eventually figured out, it's like, you know what? I don't really like where I am. I used way too much ammo. I ran out of ammo on my good gun. Or I got too damaged. I'm going to just kill myself with grenades repeatedly, and then eventually the game would set you back. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool. So I can actually revert back a checkpoint, because you couldn't really do that very easily on a console. Some PC games had, like, if you go into the game's code, you can kind of delete your recent one and go back one. As well as with the autosaves on Sony Vegas, which I may or may not have needed to, my thing crashed. Oh, everything that's saved is all screwed up. Let me revert my autosave. I had to go into the hidden files. But yeah, that was something I did in Halo sometimes.
Actually, in the original Oblivion, well, not original, but Oblivion 4, which is like Skyrim.
Elder Scrolls?
Skyrim. Yeah, Elder Scrolls. It was like the Skyrim before Skyrim. But anyway, in that game, I accidentally killed somebody like level 1. and the police were chasing me the whole game. So basically, I couldn't play, and I passed a checkpoint. So it's like I'm done. I had to delete my save and start all new because of that. So
I don't know if in Oblivion, like in Fallout, because I played Fallout, I never really played the Elder Scrolls games. I always, whenever I saved, I'd always make a new save, so I would just have a lot of saves to revert to, which is sort of like the original idea of reverting a checkpoint. So if I had ever done that by accident, oh, this NPC died, I gotta, revert a save or two just to make sure that didn't happen. Or I missed a good opportunity, I need to revert the save and do it again. Save scumming. That's, I think, the official name for it. Save scumming.
Gotcha.
I think. Cool. I might be misremembering my terminology. But yeah, I don't know if that's an exploit. That's like something that's like a meta game mechanic that is unavoidable in most games. I use that a lot in Stalker. Stalker, you can quick save. There's auto saves, and you need to because you die in a second. And there's something I want to bring up for Stalker actually while I'm on the topic. So, in Stalker, the Shadow of Chernobyl, the first one, you have weapon maintenance and armor maintenance. In the game, if I recall correctly, there were weapon repairmen. You can pay them to up the condition of your weapon so they don't jam as often. There was no armor repair in the game at all. You wore your armor. When it wore down, you had to discard it, buy a new one. This was a problem since the game had a couple of unique armor pieces that once they're worn out, it's like, well, that was fun. Time to go back to the scrubby stuff I can buy from the shop. So there was an exploit to fix your armor, and it was such an effective exploit that the game developers never patched it out. So in the game Stalker, there's a lot of stats. There's a lot of stats you have to look out for. Poison, radiation, you're bleeding. There was one, and the game has something called artifacts, which affects your stats, almost like an RPG, but not really. There was a poison stat where if you're in poison, you would take damage, and if you have armor that protects you from poison, your armor will take the damage instead of you. So the more you're in the poison, the more your armor will be eaten through, and then you start taking damage. If you have artifacts, what they do, there was one that reduced your poison damage by a certain percentage. So if you wear it, it absorbs some of the poison, affected your armor less, and affected you less. The weird thing about it is that if you play through the game enough, if you find enough of the same artifact, you can hold up to 5. If you hold 5 artifacts that have this poison damage reduction, for some reason mathematically, instead of reducing negatively, it went to positive, where if you're in the poison, it would increase your damage and increase your armor. So if you have a good armor set, you put on these artifacts that like reduce your poison, you go swimming, rolling around in the poison, and it would heal you, and it would repair your armor very slowly. Very slowly. Like basically it's like what you said with the grinding money in San Andreas. You would take your good armor, you would go sit in poison, take a nice poison bath, and then you would alt tab and watch a couple videos for like 30 minutes to an hour to get your armor back up, because there was no other way. And it was pretty funny. And in subsequent Stalker games, they finally had repairmen who can fix your damn armor so you didn't have to do that shit.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's little things like that where it's like you got to give up a little time to increase your stats or whatever. Yeah. Wow, that's funny.
Man, I got another one that was a big time waster. Do you have any others?
No, I mean, that's everything I had, but it makes me wonder, like, how there's some that I showed, like the missing no Pokemon glitch. The developers would have never figured that out. So I don't, I don't blame them. But for that one, it's like
QA testing.
The
QA testing, they only have like a few dozen people. Like, but when you get to mass market, that's like, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people playing it. They're bound to find something that the dozens of people you hired missed, because they only have so much time to find this shit.
Yeah.
It is the unfortunate reality of playtesting. That's why a lot of games do a lot of beta testing. That's more so for online stress testing or finding exploits online. I guess they can deal with a single player exploit, but if someone can like steal and get infinite XP in a game or in-game currency, they do not want that.
Right.
I can't think of off the top of my head if any ever slipped. I'm sure there were some. But actually, there was an exploit I knew about. For Sony Vegas. This is one took a long time. Sony Vegas, Rainbow Six, not Sony Vegas, the freaking editing software. No, Rainbow Six Vegas 2 on the Xbox 360. I remember enjoying this game. This game had a weird exploit where you level up, you unlock more equipment. And when you unlock the equipment, you unlock relatively quickly. Everything beyond the equipment is like cosmetic, camouflage. And the one everyone wanted was you can actually make custom colored camouflage. You have a bunch of different camouflage types, and then you can input your colors to make whatever you want. The problem was that was like max level, and it would take forever to get it. And there was this weird exploit. I do not remember the steps involved, but I remember that you actually needed to unlock all of the equipment first. So you didn't actually gain anything from doing this exploit. You had to wait after. You go on to like a couple of settings. I think I remember you had to shut your game off in the middle of a loading sequence. And then when you turn your game back on, for some reason, it gave you a certain amount of XP for no reason. So you had to repeatedly turn your game on, go to this thing, turn your game off. This was annoying on the Xbox because you had to like start it up, you had to launch the game. Everyone online saw me go online. I'm sure I was pissing off a lot of people doing this because I had to do this several times before I eventually grinded my way to max level and I can make custom armor. Because otherwise that would have been like days of playing the game and getting the XP. But I really wanted that custom, not the armor, custom camo colors. It was cool.
What you're saying kind of reminds me of Call of Duty 4. Back in the day, you used to have to get, I think it was 100 headshots, and you'd get a special camouflage for getting 100 headshots.
Fall camo, right?
Yeah. So what would people do? Would they work their way to try to get all the headshots? No. They would go into 1v1, and then on the mic,
third person 1v1. I remember this. I did this.
Yeah, and you'd say, hey, you want to do headshots? So you'd both take turns going to nine headshots, because 10 was a win. So you do 9. Yeah. 9. Then whoever wants the final kill. So
because no one really played that naturally. No one wanted to play freaking third person 1v1. You would just queue up at the same time. Oh wait, that's not you. Quit out. Let's try again. Oh, this time it is you. All right, here. Yep. Let's just play a slap fight. Here, slap me, slap you, slap me, slap you. And that took forever too.
Yeah, I mean that's funny. I'm actually playing Rainbow Six Vegas 2 recently, so I've been playing that. So I might try that. I might look that exploit up.
Yeah, it was an online XP exploit. So if you're playing on the PC, I don't know if it got patched out because who knows?
Right.
Do you have any others you want to share? You can think of? Because I got 2 more minor ones.
Yeah, do yours. I got a bunch. Maybe we could do this on another video. Yeah.
So I remember a game called Super Meat Boy. I remember really enjoying this game, and I played it quite a bit, and I was trying to 100% it as best I can. I remember that in the game, there's basically like a bonus super hard series of levels. Like, I think it was like 5 levels that were really hard. I honestly cannot remember. it was like I think it was called the Golden Gift levels. Let me try to look it up real quick. Super Meat Boy Golden Gift. But basically, there was an exploit where there's a wall, and you have to go down under through these crazy obstacles. But on the top of the wall, above where the game rendered, there was a gap where if you jump perfectly, you go through the wall and skip like over half of it. Super Meat. Yeah, and that's what everyone did to beat this one level. Super Meat Boy Golden Gift, I think it was called. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. One playthrough. Let me see. Does this guy abuse the glitch? Let me mute it. Give me 1 sec. That wasn't it. That one wasn't it. Damn it! I don't know. I should have been more prepared for this one. Oh, wait. I think I may have found it. Was this one it? No. All right, yeah, I can't find it, but you get what I'm saying though. You
Yeah.
You basically went over a wall, and there was another glitch which I honestly can't remember, which I don't think is very well publicized, where you had a bunch of different characters in Super Meat Boy. One of them was a character that could sort of like teleport forward and launch forward, but he was very slow and not good in other respects. But I remember there was one level where you had to go underneath an area and dodge a bunch of obstacles. But there was a wall, like a single layered wall, like near the top where you spawn and then the end point. And what I decided to do, because, I was like, oh, I'm having trouble with this level. Let me just teleport into this wall repeatedly. And as I was doing it, like after like 100 attempts, or probably not that many, I eventually phased through the walls. Like, oh, sweet. I don't even have to really do this level. Nice. I wish I can remember which level it was. It was a level randomly near the end of the game.
That's funny. You know that I'm gonna play a clip real quick. I mean, everybody knows this one as well, but this reminds me of the Super Mario one from the NES. I mean, everyone knows this one. You break the 2 blocks on the top.
Who figured this out?
Yeah, I know. And if you jump, I mean, this is actually a secret in the game. If you just jump, you can go right through the wall. And then you have these pipes
not
here.
in the game. The shortcut was a secret in the game. This was, some crazy glitch that no one thought about.
Yeah. Well, I think this has to be programmed in. I mean, I think they were originally attempting this. They have to. I mean, because otherwise, why would there be 3 random things here?
That was deliberate. I'm talking about the minus world.
Yours is a glitch. Yeah, no. But it kind of reminds me of this because you're able to get through the wall.
This guy, in order to get to Minus World, he went too far. If he went in the first pipe immediately, he would have been in Minus World, which is a weird looping water level.
Right. That one's
had an undefined number, which looked like -1. So that was an interesting one.
Yeah. So I mean, your Super Meat Boy one reminds me of this a little bit, but
a little bit. Yeah. It was basically just bashing your head into the wall until you phase through. Like.
There are some games with like invisible walls that you can actually abuse. Actually, the first Call of Duty Finest Hour on the consoles had this, where there was an invisible wall, you could walk through it, and there was actually like a little interesting way to get through the level that way. So pretty cool.
Yeah, and for some reason, I think in one of the Call of Duties, they had a secret gun behind one of these invisible walls.
Yeah.
Also, in Fallout, one of the first DLCs, there was a hidden gun that was like a beta gun that was behind an invisible wall, and it was really weird that they would hide stuff like that behind walls instead of just deleting them from the game outright.
Yeah.
Also, the Scarab Gun.
To delete that.
The Scarab Gun was like that too, from Halo 2. Does anyone remember the Scarab Gun? Where they had to put it in for loading purposes when the Scarab shot, so the guy threw the gun somewhere out of bounds, and they thought, hey, it'll probably take people like months to find this, and then people found it within a week. It was pretty funny.
No, I don't remember that one. That one's I didn't have an Xbox, so I was never able
If you
to
look
play
up
Halo
Scarab Gun Halo 2, you'll find, footage of it. It's just a normal pistol or the plasma rifle gun, but it shoots like a huge laser that just kills everything, because that was the same laser this giant tank like thing shoots. And in order for this thing to shoot, they had to have a gun that shot that same projectile. So through loading purposes, and it had to exist in the game's universe. Or in the map. So that's what they had to do. Yeah, so it was. And I have one more. A game that's kind of recent that maybe some people have heard of, called Mario Party Superstars. Now, I want to be clear that this was not an exploit I did. I just heard of it. So, there's in-game achievements in this game. And one of them is win 10 minigames in a row in survival mode, which I talked about when we reviewed Superstars, where it's sort of like a BR where you verse random people, random minigames. It counts your game streaks. It's very easy to lose a minigame. It's hard to win 10 in a row like that. Also, if you have a win streak, people see it and they'll target you. So if you won like 3 or 4 games, suddenly people are like, oh, let's knock this guy down. Let's bring him down a peg. So I've heard of a glitch where in the Switch, you can back up your saves in the Switch. You turn off the auto cloud backup and you do manual backup. You save Superstars. You play. If you win, you save your cloud backup. And then if you lose, you're back to 0. You have 0 wins. You revert your cloud backup and you have your wins from before. So then you play again. If you win, you save. If you lose, revert your save until you get to 10 wins, because that's when the achievement is.
Wow.
And the world record may or may not be total bullshit at this point. It has like over 900 wins. I wonder if they... Because this is a built-in feature of the console, which I don't think they can easily fix. I think it's just an unfortunate reality of how it works. Because they do need the backups.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they can force automatic backups.
I mean, this works in so many games. But you know what the problem is? You can't do it all in one sitting. So you can't patch it that way. How do you go about patching that? I mean, that's tricky.
I don't know.
I
just
the backup
don't know.
Saves, the cloud backup saves. Do you have to have? Do you have to pay for like the pro subscription for that, or every?
Oh well, that's part of the. I think that's part of the, because I think you need to pay for the online in order to play the survival mode anyway.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I think you do need to pay for the $20 for the yearly Switch Online, or if you want, you can pay $50 for the fucking
That's
N64 and Sega thing. I don't know if they are planning to change that at all. I heard they sort of delayed it. That's still pending. So news of that is still pending. Who knows what's gonna happen with that?
I remember I had a PS3. I mean, this might not be the case anymore, but it was at one point. I had all my PS3 games saves in the cloud, and then my membership ended. So guess what? My saves were in the cloud. I couldn't get to them unless I
Bye bye.
resubscribed. Yeah, it's like wow, that's one way to keep customers, I guess.
I guess, or the way to piss people off, or not to
Yeah,
become a customer first in the first place. Steam has backups, but Steam is free by default,
right,
so
right.
that's fine. I mean, people have these apocalyptic like predictions. Oh, what if Valve goes out of business tomorrow? All the games you bought are going away. That's theoretically possible, but not realistic. We would see the writing on the wall if Valve is in the process of going. It would take that's like a years long process of repeated bad decisions, bad business practices for Valve to somehow cease to exist. I don't really see it as
Yeah,
the only way Valve would cease to be is if society and the internet ceases to be. But I think we'll have more things to worry about than saving your video
that
games you pay
that would
for.
take that would take years, as you said. But I mean, one thing I feel like I've talked about this in a prior podcast, but one thing that I mean I think about all the time is we had GameSpy, that's dead. We had Windows games for Windows Live, that's now dead. Think there are things that have happened, like services that have existed and they no longer exist. So it's like anybody who bought anything on there, forget it, it's gone. So could it theoretically happen? Yes, and it's happened in the past, but is it going to happen to Valve? It would take years. I don't think that is a worry, really.
Yeah, not yet anyway, but Valve I think has a strong standing, and those ones you cited, games, was it GameSpy or GameSpot?
GameSpy, yeah, that's from.
GameSpy, yeah, GameSpy, and games for Windows Live. That was still kind of like
Yeah,
early a DRM where most people I think downloaded their games, and before them you actually had to buy a physical disc
yeah,
to put on into your computer, and you have to like keep track of that, which a lot of people do like physical media, but it's inconvenient and cumbersome in some ways. It has pros and cons like with anything, but those were early examples. And I think when Steam started to come around, people I think eventually start to see the writing on the wall. And I don't know if you can access the games you originally paid for, because I know games for Windows Live, that's like Windows, they still exist. I think you still get the license for those games. GameSpy or GameSpot, GameSpy, I honestly do not remember how that worked. I think if your games are just
that
gone,
was
gone.
that was way before me. Yeah, I mean, there's other ones like UPlay, but I feel like nobody uses UPlay. That's
Well,
Ubisoft's
you see,
version.
both Uplay and Origin are
Yeah,
trying to cut into the Steam market. They are doing things to try to
mhm.
compete. Origin is doing better than Uplay. I honestly do not know what Uplay is doing to get people. I do know that Uplay is tied now to Steam, so you need a Uplay account, but then the games are on Steam anyway, so they're like
I
tied
know, it's
together. So
weird.
it's fine. If you bought a game, you probably keep it.
So,
I think one of the games I have is A Way Out, which is on Steam when it was originally that one might have been an Origin game. I might be wrong about that. But,
hmm.
it exists in some form, so it's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, they also have the Epic Game Store. That one I think is doing really well because they're putting some cool sales on there and stuff.
Oh
So
yeah, Epic.
yeah,
Epic can really last a long time because they have their game engine.
mm,
The what's this called? Um they get a lot of money from people using their game engine, and they either have the game developers who use Unreal, which is their game engine, they either have to give them a slice of their profits, or they let them have all their profits. They just ask for exclusivity on the Epic store for a period of time, for like a year. I remember it
mm.
bummed me out because Hitman 3 is doing that. They were not releasing on Steam. It was Epic exclusively because I think the game was made in Unreal and they want to maximize their profits.
They did that with Kingdom Hearts. I don't think it's a bad thing because I actually really like Epic. They even give a free game every single week, and they've given some good ones.
Oh
So
yeah,
not
the
a
free
bad thing.
games.
Yeah, they did Grand Theft Auto 5 one time, which was like, wow, that's a really cool thing to give away for
That
free.
game is 2 generations old.
Yes,
It's like
yes, but
Skyrim.
I don't mind Epic games. It's I think some competition is good.
John on Games for Windows Live, a best software ever, brought to you by Microsoft. Oh yeah, indeed, indeed.
Yes.
But yeah,
Wow.
that's just kind of funny to think about. Oh, by the way, since you did bring up the GTA trilogy, I don't know if we have a whole lot to talk about this yet. I know you wanted to play it, and they sort of yanked the game away from you. Tell me, are you enjoying Milk Rain? Are you enjoying the Milk Rain?
Yeah, I mean, so for those of you that don't know, the GTA Definitive Edition had come out, which is supposed to be the trilogy of Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, and it's supposed to modernize them, which I was so excited for. And it finally got released recently. There's been so many problems; they've actually pulled the game from PC. Keep in mind that they also pulled the original, so you can no longer buy the original games. You have to buy the definitive edition, and they've now pulled the definitive edition. So there's no way to get these games right now.
That's hilarious.
It is hilarious. There has been so many glitches and problems with this game that people are,
I
so
showed
many
one, the
complaints.
growing
Yeah, you
car.
just showed the car.
And these glitches don't make any sense because this is a different game engine, and I'm not a programmer, so I have no idea what the means were to like port the game over. And I guess some things did not translate well in the coding. Hence why you have like a bunch of weird shit like that. They also didn't upscale everything manually. I heard they used an AI program. I heard this on another podcast, actually, a Re-Res podcast, where they talked in more detail and actually explained how this works, where there's actually spelling mistakes in some of the billboards because the AI registers different letters differently than others, so it does not match up.
I saw the spelling mistakes. I wondered how that happened because it's fine in the original game, so how does that happen?
Yeah, it was the AI, not like a D would look like an O or vice versa. Stuff like that.
That's really funny. Yeah, another problem that I saw was if it's raining outside and you go under a bridge or you go under a roof, it's still raining. Like, it just makes no sense. Yeah, I mean, Byron, I'm sure he has some funny stories too. There's so many, it's countless how many problems are with this definitive edition. So
yeah, I want to show a couple of examples on Twitter. I have been following a guy named Justin Wang who makes YouTube content, Tales from the Internet, but a couple of stuff he was retweeting was shit that was going on with the GTA trilogy. I'm trying to find Milk Rain. I'm scrolling through I'm sure if you Google Milk Rain, you'll probably see it pretty quickly. But let me show one. Let me show you. The AI is all fucked up too. Let me damn it. Let me share this one real quick. Give me one sec. Share screen. Okay, here we go. Let me make this bigger. And let me put this on the stream. There we go. Okay, so the AI is all screwed up because in the game, stuff would spawn out of view and then go towards you. And for some reason, the speed and how things spawn in are weird. That shit like this happens.
What the heck?
That was not good. That was pretty funny. And also I want to talk about the AI of the game and how it upscales. So you put stuff in, you spit it out. So I kind of want to let me try to full screen this. Let me add this. So now they had an old donut shop called Tough Nut Donuts. They had a donut and a lug nut, and the donut did not look good. It was like blocky. So they made the donut look nice and smooth. But tell me if you see the error in this upscale. Okay, let me show it. Give me one sec. Okay. Do you see the issue with the upscaling here? Do you see it? Because once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it.
No, I actually don't.
So the donut is all blocky and it's smooth now, and they upscaled it.
The lug nut is now like a tire.
Yeah, what the? That's not how lug nuts work. They're supposed to be hexagonal. Like, why would they make? Like, what the? Who does that? That's such a weird mistake, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't even.
That's probably the AI.
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
AI
this thing
doing
looks
it.
all blocky. Let me smooth it out. Here's your lug nut. That's a perfect circle because that's how the lug nuts work.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man,
Here's
that's
one I
just
want to show real quick. I mean, I've seen these all over the place. Um, it's just the invisible things that are just, to me, this is like something that's not spawning in. So check this out.
all right. He's talking with his
I don't want to
hand.
skip because there you go. See, I was just in walking on nothing. There's nothing there, and you'll see him driving his car too. There's nothing there. It's just like
Is there an environment that's not spawning, or is that just an
Yeah,
invisible area
yeah.
that you're not
It's
supposed to go
a
to?
bridge. It's just not spawning in.
Oh, the bridge is not spawning in? Oh, that's
Right.
like the opposite problem of Big Rigs Racer, where the bridge exists, but the collision for it doesn't.
Yeah.
Which, if your game's being compared to Big Rigs, that's a bit of a problem. Oh, look at that! They have floating cars. Oh, it's like Back to the Future. I didn't know they had Back to the Future DLC.
Wow. Yeah. Here's that rain mechanic that everybody's complaining
Yeah,
about.
that rain looks better than what I've seen. I think Grand Theft Auto 3 rain looks like milk, and it looks awful. Yeah, there it is. You see that rain?
That looks so bad. Yeah. And if you notice, you can briefly see it here, but he's going under the bridge. This is like such a small thing. Like even the original.
It's like outdated game graphics. Like they didn't know how to cut the rain.
He's going under the thing. The rain should stop, and it doesn't.
I remember Grand Theft Auto 4 was able to handle that.
Yeah, exactly. No, even the originals I think did it. Like he's under the thing. It shouldn't be raining anymore. That really does.
Also, it's raining milk. I think I should reiterate that point. Raining milk.
That looks bad. That looks really, really bad.
Yeah, geez, what a disaster that game.
I mean, I do believe that it wasn't Rockstar that did this remaster. But you would think with Rockstar they would say no, it has to be a certain quality. At least look.
Well, it was a third party. It was what was it? Grove Street Games.
Right.
And again, this is something I learned from the Re-Res podcast. That's the gaming podcast I listen to, and he's like a major personality and well known. But he talked about how they had a different name. They were third party. They were working with Rockstar quite a bit, and they speculate that they had a bad timetable, and that so it wasn't made by Rockstar directly, but they still looked at it and said, ship it.
They have to give it the green light. Yeah.
They had to give it the green light. They must have barely looked at the thing, and it was not ported properly.
Yeah, to be fair, they did not have a long timeline because Rockstar, I think, announced it in like just recently, like September or something, and now it's November and they've released it. So that was like 2 months. You're telling me in 2 months they could do that? No way. But who greenlit this? Like that's a bad name for Rockstar, even if they didn't have anything to do with it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to briefly bring up with it. I know you haven't had the chance to play it a whole lot. I'm probably not going to, especially now. Maybe they'll make it better.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it because I've been playing Vice City and San Andreas, the original. Yeah, so I cannot wait to play it. Problems or not, I can't wait to play it. But I will document everything that I've seen when that time comes.
How dare you? Yeah, if there's enough to talk about for a whole podcast, like with me, what I did with Superstars, just to like really compare the original to see if they fix the issues and maybe the game itself would be fine, because the graphics of it looked good when they upscaled it properly, you know, sans the quirkiness. But yeah, by the way, if anyone has any anecdotes about that or what's this called, game exploits you abused in the past, you can call in and we would like to hear some of your anecdotes. Right there. Yes. Anyway, see here. I do want to talk a little bit about, I mean, we probably, if we research this a bit better, we probably could make this a whole video or a whole podcast in and of itself, but I think it's been talked a lot publicly. And that is YouTube removes the public dislike button. This is a very bad decision, a mistake, in my opinion. Do you have any takes on this?
Well, so I know they're doing it gradually. It's not like it's just one and done. It's over. Here's the no dislike button. Well, okay, let's reiterate.
Eventually,
there is a dislike button, but you don't see it publicly. So it's
not
there.
public.
You just can't see what is disliked. Now, for me, they're doing it gradually. I haven't seen this. Like even in this video I just pulled up, I can dislike it if I so choose.
I can see the dislikes publicly on my video, and it's very upsetting to me. I don't want to look at that. They should remove it.
immediately what this made me think of is I'm sure there's people that just like me that do this. Have you ever gone to YouTube and looked up a tutorial on something?
Yeah, this is a big argument. Now, tutorials which are important. A lot of the tutorials can really help you explain. There are some people who do not know what they're talking about, and they explain things badly or incorrectly. And the dislike button is a good indication, because it's, if you go down the comment section, it's like sometimes if it's a smaller channel, people don't bother to comment. And it's a bit more effort to scroll down and read through, as opposed to the dislike. Hey, if this thing has 75% dislike, there's probably there's an issue. Or maybe I'll now look at the comments, because I'm not going to look at the comments for every video I watch.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody that has an iPhone out there, I like to jailbreak my iPhones, which means, I like to...
I don't condone that behavior. How dare you?
Well, basically, it just allows you to get like an alternate app store where you can download tweaks for your phone that Apple doesn't normally let you do. There are so many tutorials out there that are fake on how to do it. You don't want to follow a fake video because it's just a waste of time. And then the dislike bar instantly tells you, is this real or is this fake?
Or gives you an idea. I wouldn't say instantly.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you an idea. And I left a comment on a video that was actually talking about this thing. And somebody said to me, because I complained, I said, I need that to tell me if the tutorial is going to be useful or not. And somebody said, you can go through the comments. Why am I going to sit there and go through, I don't know, 5, 10
You know what's going to happen now?
Helpful or not?
Comments, dislike.
Yes.
So yeah, real good job preventing it from being public. Although the uploader has complete control over the comments and can delete them. They can't delete the dislikes.
That's such a problem.
It is. There's another major thing. You know how there's sometimes news like this, like a major company releases a game trailer or a movie trailer, and it's like really bad. It's garbage, and people like dislike it to hell because, oh, this is terrible. And then it becomes news. You remove the public dislike, the major publications are gonna like, oh, they released a great trailer. Look how much views it has. It's not gonna be news that the public dislikes this crap.
Do you remember
recent examples? The Eternals. I don't know anything about the Eternals, but I heard people hated it and disliked the trailer to hell. So this removing the public dislike button is to protect major publications.
So another one that I'm thinking of is Sonic the Hedgehog. Do you remember Sonic the Hedgehog? It was February.
Oh yeah, this is a dislike campaign that had a positive impact.
Right. People hated the way he looked. They
looked like an alien. Yeah, looked like a freak alien.
They disliked it. They showed that they hated, and the dislike button helped in this. And they went and changed it. Yeah, positive feedback. They went
and it's now actually good. Like that was a decent movie because we saw it last movie. I think I saw in theaters.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't remember. Wait, whichever came out first, either the Stephen King's It or Sonic the Hedgehog. I think Sonic the Hedgehog.
It was way before that. Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog was the last movie we saw. I don't think I could have sat through that movie if Sonic looked like how he originally did. It just would be such a distraction. Even though the writing was pretty decent and the everything was fine, it would look so bad. It would have been a huge distraction. If they released the DVD or the Blu-ray of it, it would be funny if they released what they had of the original. Like, could you stomach watching this?
Right. That would be really funny. But see, that's where the dislike button was positive. And the dislike button can be positive at times because it will bring changes like that. I mean, there are, of course, people that are just going to click the dislike button and they're just there for their daily dislike. I've heard comments even say that. I'm here just for my daily dislike. And those people are really annoying, and that's why YouTube is probably trying to remove it. But you can't. I mean, it is a useful tool, you know?
Oh, hey, Mike, if you were in late, we were talking about game exploits. Talk about Animal Crossing set time forward exploit. I vaguely heard about. If you want to hop in, we do accept call-ins because do you know anything about? Do you know anything about it, Death Row?
Yeah, I don't know about the Animal Crossing one, but I can tell you there's been a ton of exploits I've used where you can change the time in games. The PS2 era was good for this.
That's another meta thing where they can't really get rid of because you need to be able to change the time.
The nerd, the angry video game nerd, talks about it with
Seaman.
Yeah. So
you can't. That game knew when you set it backwards though, and I think Animal Crossing does too. You got to set it forward because the game doesn't know when you shut your console off. Maybe you kept your thing off for years. The Metal Gear boss. Which Metal Gear boss? I've only ever played Metal Gear Solid 3. and I don't remember. Oh wait, the end. You're talking about the end. You can set your thing forward, and he would die of old age. Because the way the glitch was, the way the exploit, not the exploit, the Easter egg was supposed to work. You turn your console off, and if you wait a week, he would die of old age. Or you could set your time forward and he would just insta die. I think that was a deliberate glitch because no one's gonna do that by default. Maybe speedrunners, but yeah, that was a pretty interesting exploit.
Very interesting. Wow.
But yeah, also I guess to sort of tie into the dislike button thing, people would sometimes post hoaxes, and one good way to know these hoaxes, the dislike button, it was important, you know.
Right. Exactly. Fake news. If like fake news comes out, how would you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And not to mention, it turns it into a news story if something is bad, like as I mentioned before. But you know, they talk about all the dislike camp, the dislike raids and all that, but these are still people that engage in it. It's natural. It's not like a bot thing. And the dislikes are still there, as they mentioned. And the creators can see it. They said that they wanted to protect the mental health of the creator. They can still see it, okay?
The creator,
and if they really wanted, the YouTube creators can disable ratings if they really wanted to. That's a bad look, in my opinion. But it's there, and even if it's not publicly available, the person can still see it. They said that they saw a reduction. YouTube said they saw a reduction in dislikes. My thing is, though, if you remove disliking publicly, there's no point of disliking to begin with. So of course there's a reduction. If you remove the like public button, you'll probably see a reduction in that too. It's Netflix did this. They got rid of the star rating, and now it's not an easy way to scan and look through. Oh, that has a 1 star, probably not worth my time.
Yeah.
Oh, that has 4 and that one has 5. You know, we'll watch those. Those might be good. And this was a problem too, where the comment section used to be on everything, and gradually the major news publications, the alphabet soup news agencies, they all removed commenting from their articles, so people can't have the reasonable discord about it. And I don't care about the trolls or the people, you know, shitting on it. It's still a part of it. And the more the internet's going on, they're trying to remove the public like outcries and all that. And this, in my opinion, this is just to protect the major corporations. They release a shitty trailer that they know is going to suck, or they haven't thought it through. The dislike was to let people know this is a majorly disliked thing. If it's not public, they just won't share that it's majorly disliked. And I bet people will start to really want to hack or to hack into accounts or try to gather this info through nefarious means because they want it to be public.
Yeah.
Not to mention, people will make an extension. People will make a Chrome extension to have the dislikes public, because there's plenty of YouTube extensions that fix YouTube in ways you want, and I'm certain they will add a public dislike with the extension. It's going to reduce how much you see because not as many people have the dislike button, but it's there.
Yeah, I mean, for that,
we both clicked on it. Yeah, there you go.
for that Chrome extension, I'm surprised you can actually do that. You think? Like, you can make
you can do anything with the Chrome extension. I have a Chrome extension for YouTube which gets rid of the quote unquote mainstream people off of my discovery feed, so I don't see that shit. I don't see Fox, CNN, NBC. I don't see any of them because I don't want to watch any of their shit. If I did, I would turn the TV on. But instead, when I go on YouTube, if I do want to hear news publications, it's gonna be more independent, like lower level people. You know, I'm not gonna say who, because that's kind of like a hot thing. But yeah, I see lower level people whom I know they're more individually based as opposed to the corporations.
Right. Yeah, this is going to be a serious problem, and I hope see, if YouTube made a video saying, "Hey, we're going to remove the dislike button," you would see a bunch of dislikes on it, and that would say
it was
we don't agree with that.
Disliked.
Right.
And YouTube is just gonna like veto it. They're gonna do it. They made a bunch of nonsense arguments that are not real. Obviously YouTube's getting a lot of money from these major mainstream people, even though their whole website was built off of the low level creators. No, there's little engagement in these like mainstream. Like, it's put on your feed, and they sometimes have high views, but they have few comments, and there's no engagement because no one cares. It's very soulless. Let me see what Axe just said. I remember when Google removed the ability to view images on their own from Google Image. The Chrome extension to already extort. I didn't even know that. Okay, that's good to know.
I didn't know that either. That's interesting.
I might have to look for that extension.
I'm gonna share something real quick because I find this hilarious. So this is this looks to me, YouTube creators, this looks like the official YouTube.
It's verified.
Yeah, look at the I just clicked dislike now just to follow the movement.
Oh, you disliked it too.
Yeah, well, just now, yeah. But I mean, look at this. Look at this ratio. This is hilarious. And I'm sure the comments would have some really funny jokes in here too. But
yeah, don't go on that in case people say vulgar shit. But yeah, right. People don't like it. YouTube sees that people don't like it, but they don't care. They're getting their money through other means, and people will not criticize the bad major publications now.
I have two YouTubers that I follow, and the two of those YouTubers are saying that they are thinking about quitting YouTube because of the the bad eggs that are
there's a lot of good reasons too, but there's not too many good alternatives. The alternatives is hey, it's like the bleed off. No normal person goes on these alternatives. I wish I can opt into having public dislikes being seen. Give us the option. People can choose to remove ratings entirely. If they want people to be cowardly, give them the option so that way people will know, oh, I can't see the dislikes. This is probably not good. I'm not going to follow this person. I want the dislikes publicly displayed on my videos because I'm confident it will be fine.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, actually, to let the creator decide, hey, do I want to show it or not?
They better not have you opt out by default. It should be public display, have an option to check it off and remove it. Because if it's by default, the average low level person gets into it without seeing, or people will write off, oh, you can't see the dislikes. They probably didn't realize they can opt out, because that's going to defeat the purpose. It needs to be an overt opt-in to remove, like you can disable comments and you can disable rating. And if you see that on a video, you know it's bad news.
Yeah, I mean, the dislikes are really annoying because I remember I had a channel where I was just starting the channel, and somebody went and disliked every single video of mine on purpose. So that was really
that's engagement. That's actually engagement. That's still a positive on YouTube. It's not as good as a like, but it's still engagement.
Yeah, it's engagement, but for somebody that only had 2 or 3 likes per video, that one dislike looked huge. You know what I mean? So it's tough for the YouTubers.
We'll make better content.
Well, they were just trolling me. They even told me it was them. They said, "Hey, listen, I'm trolling you."
Oh well.
So it's off-putting, but come on. I mean, you have to have it.
Yeah, if you're going to be put out there publicly, you're going to have some level of skin. You know, if you can't take, I know it's disheartening for some people when you go on for the first time, you get notable and then you get made fun of. You look at the negative more than the positive, but you just kind of have to accept that. I really view it as just a mob of people shouting things at me, and I do appreciate the positive feedback. I do get some legitimate negative criticism too. I remember when I released my my Mario Party iceberg, my first major video. One of the funniest criticisms I got was, why does this dude sound like the sloth from Zootopia? Because I went a little overboard trying to be deliberate in my pronunciations, and I did talk a little too slowly. But I saw that criticism, that joke, and I adjusted accordingly and tried to talk more normal, even if it meant I had to redo takes because I thought I flubbed my words.
Right. See, and that's
it was a funny comment too.
Yeah, it is funny. That things like that, they're important. You need to know that, because how else would you have gotten it other than sifting through the comments, or the dislike button just helps with that. So
it's it's like it points you in the right direction, and then if you do see more, you go through the comments for more elaboration. But exactly. The public needs to be able to make mention of it needs to be there needs to be some public display of this. This was how YouTube was built, and they're going against it, and they're becoming more soulless and more corporate. I mean, obviously it is a big corporation now because Google bought it out, and it just is what it is. I think the history of YouTube is that it used to be a dating website very, very early, and then it just turned into a video thing with 5-star ratings. Does anyone remember that? I kind of miss the 5-star rating system.
Yeah, I never heard of that. But yeah, the 5-star rating system, I remember that.
That there were plus the dislike button used to be red. Yeah. I remember the dislike used to be red. It used to really stand out, and people said, "Hey, look at my lightsaber! I got a nice lightsaber." I remember that was a thing, but funny. It's not. They initially wanted to change the color to be less negative, but
and I can agree with that change. Because it's not. So I mean,
it's subtle, but it's still there, and it wasn't super highlighted in your face. I can understand that decision. I kind of wish I can like make my colors of the dislike what I want it to be, because you know, it's just, if it's green, it really stands out.
No, I completely agree. Yeah.
Oh boy, but yeah, so I guess I want to, this I barely know about. I found out this morning, and it sort of ties into the public Discord. Streamlabs versus OBS beef. So what little I've seen about this, Byron actually showed it to me in the Discord, and basically I don't know if this is more of a notable for streamers. You know what Streamlabs is and OBS is?
Yep.
So Streamlabs OBS was a modified version that had a couple of their own features put in. They called it Streamlabs OBS or Slobs. And apparently this was not publicly known until recently, where Streamlabs asked OBS if they can use OBS in their name. OBS told them, we're willing to work with you, but we don't want our name in your project. Streamlabs did it anyway. No one knew. And I honestly do not know the legalities of it, because OBS is an open source platform. I do not know if their name is trademarked or copyrighted in any way. It might be like a public domain kind of thing. May not be. I do not know. But now OBS has gone public, and they asked them to stop. And I don't know if they have any means to tell Streamlabs to stop, because they've been out for so long, and I don't know if there's like a statute of limitations on this thing. This is like questions for lawyers. Who knows? But I don't think Streamlabs is going to go kaput because of this. They're getting criticized for what they did, because it is kind of like a shady move. The least they could do is like change the name of their program. I don't use Streamlabs OBS. I use Streamlabs services because I do find them convenient, and that's what I started using, and I'm used to it.
Well, I have a few questions with this. So
yeah,
OBS was, I believe, open source at one point, right?
It is. OBS is
open
source.
So is it still open source? Now,
yeah.
if something's open source, like, doesn't that mean it's open source? Like, anybody can use.
Well, open source means that like you can use and modify it, add to it, but I don't know, because Streamlabs accepts donations and they take a piece on their platform. And again, I don't know if the naming rights is the same as like the open source, if you can just use it. I think that might be a different legal classification. You declare your thing as open source, anyone can mess with it, but you own the rights to the name of the original program. That's what I'm thinking. Again, don't quote me. It's still a shady. If it's legally allowed, it's a shady move what they did.
That's tricky. I mean, that really goes to the
ask a lawyer, because I don't know. Ask a copyright lawyer.
But that's interesting. I mean, I see it two ways basically. Streamlabs is probably either going to have to change their name, or they're going to have to give a royalty to OBS every single.
That too. Either that or both.
Right.
Up to like royalties up to the past, which would be a lot because it's been around for a long time. But I'm sure Streamlabs can take it because they make a lot of.
Why is this only coming up now? That's what I'm curious about.
The OBS publicly finally declared it. They said they were trying to work with it behind the scenes. I always thought that they were working together, but that's apparently not the case. And OBS finally, let me actually pull up the tweet, because Byron showed it to me on my Discord and others' Discord on his Discord as well. Give me 1 sec here. I got to scroll up because we were talking a bit after we did it. All right. Okay. Let me put this. Let me share this screen. Give me 1 more minute. Share screen. Tab. OBS. Okay. And here it is. So you can see. I wish I can make this look. I wish I can zoom in, but yeah, near the launch of Slobs, Streamlabs reached out to us using the OBS name. We kindly asked them not to. They did it anyway and followed up by filing a trademark. See, that's another questionable thing. Streamlabs filed a trademark for Slobs, Streamlabs OBS, which is a part of a name of OBS themselves, and this is the OBS creators using their official Twitter to make this known. We've tried to sort this out in private, and they have been uncooperative at every turn, and it has been years. I'm surprised at the patience of OBS. They have the patience of Saints to deal with this. This was in response to another tweet. The team at Streamlabs should be ashamed, not satisfied enough to ride OBS's hard work, now to copy ours down to the layout and every word in our marketing site and our UX in this project. I don't fully know the context of this, of who STU is, if that's someone who works on OBS or if Streamlabs is copying other people besides OBS. But OBS has, I think, a bigger reach and audience, and they're verified too. So now this is just out in the open and very well known. So it is what it is. But it's definitely questionable. I want to keep an eye on that. Worst case scenario, if Streamlabs just ceases to be, it's going to be a pain in the ass that I'll have to move all of my alerts to probably Stream Elements, because I use Streamlabs for most of my alerts myself. I got used to that service, so I stuck with it. It is what it is. It's not a on a personal level, it's not a huge deal because I could just move over, but it's still kind of weird. Like, people who use Streamlabs OBS, I started with it. I don't use it anymore because it was taxing on my resources, because it was resource heavy. But they had a lot of nice extra features and bells and whistles, and was super user friendly for newer streamers. OBS, you kind of have to go into it with a bit of pre-knowledge or guides, because it's kind of hard to use all of its services without getting confused. They have since gotten better than what they used to be. Early on, OBS was super hard to figure out, but they're easy now. Easier. But Streamlabs was the perfect, or Streamlabs OBS was the perfect starting software just to get your feet wet in streaming, and that's how I did it. But I moved on when I figured out to customize OBS for my purposes. But, you know, it was still important to me, and I felt like I could have gotten scared off of streaming if I didn't have, like, Streamlabs to make it easy for me.
Yeah, I mean, I was streaming a lot last year, and I remember using Streamlabs, and it was very, very, like, user-friendly.
No, so if you start again, you might have to think about going normal OBS.
Yeah, well, I used to use OBS many years ago, and that to
it's
me
good for screen recording too.
Yeah, it's just tricky.
It's a very dry program, though.
Yeah, there's so many things going on with it, so.
A very dry program, but yeah. But when you do eventually start streaming again, because you brag about, like, your really good rating in that very degenerate game League of Legends or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could help you out with setting up OBS. It'll be $20, 30 minutes, every 30 minutes.
Wow. How generous of you.
I know. I try to help out my fellow streamers and friends.
Yeah. I do need to start streaming again, because I am in the top 1% of the world in League of Legends. So.
Oh, here we go. And yeah, what Axe said is what I think. I think they're just going to change their name, and that'll be the end of it. That will be the easiest solution. They might have to exchange money a little bit. They might work that out behind the scenes, but that's the most likely result, is that Slobs, which is a pretty good name, honestly. Slobs roll off the tongue. But now they're going to have to change their name to something else. Like, who knows what. But
yeah.
I'm not a marketer, so I don't know.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but, I mean, it's not the end of the world. They'll continue, at least, they're not going out of business, which would be the worst.
It's not as bad as what YouTube did to removing the dislike button publicly, which was really stupid. This is just, bad dealings behind the scenes and some mildly shady things. This isn't like a total backstab to the public like YouTube is doing. Anyway, I don't know if you have any other comments on this, as well as to the chat. Like, if anyone wants to call in to talk about either game exploits or what we talked about today with the what's this called, the YouTube thing, or the Streamlabs thing, or the Grand Theft Auto debacle. There's a lot to talk about that. We only scratched the surface on that. But yeah, or game exploits. I know we're streaming at a very weird time right now, so I know we probably don't have as many people as we could have. But, I do, for everyone who's listening to this after the fact, I do appreciate everyone listening. If we don't get any call-ins soon, I think we might call it an early one. Do you have anything you want to add real quick, Death Row?
No, that's everything I had. I encourage somebody to call in. We've done that in the past, and we've had some really good call-ins. So please, guys, call in if you want to.
During our normal time. This is atypical, but it is what it is.
Yeah, true. People could be at work or whatnot.
It's Wednesday. We normally do this on Sundays. For anyone who's listening after the fact, on my Twitch channel, GK underscore got killed. I do this every other Sunday. We do live call-ins. Not to mention I play Mario Party a lot amongst random other games. So if you're into that, be sure to hit me a follow. Anyway, and also I guess Death Row. I don't know what your Twitch account was. If you want to link it in my chat so people can follow you preemptively if they like that weird game for some reason. Axe, if you want to call in, then you can elaborate for us, but I'll read your comment real quick. I have a story about me and my friends exploiting rank teams in Halo 3. Unfortunately, I'm at work. Oh, yeah, you're at work, so I need to stay alert for calls. Okay, I understand. Yeah. But yeah, I was talking about the Call of Duty exploit where we were upping our rank in 1v1 modes by queuing at the same time. But yeah, it's the game exploits your level. There's people always want to abuse that, so it is what it is.
Yeah, that's funny. Try to think of some exploits that I would have done in Halo or Call of Duty for rank.
Yeah, the only exploit I did in Halo was the as I mentioned, the reverting the checkpoint by killing yourself.
You know, this one actually, it reminds me of this exploit I used to do. I don't know if you'd really call this an exploit. This is more just like a little, I don't know, a little thing I used to do. So back in the day, I did not do well in school at the time. So my dad took away my PS3 controller. Yeah, so for a week straight in Call of Duty 4, there was double XP. Now, I'm not going to miss out on that. My dad took away my PS3
He knew, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I wasn't doing well in school, so he took away my PS3 controller, but I'm not missing out on that double XP. So what did I do? I plugged in my Rock Band drum set, and I was actually able to get my play Headquarters. There's a mode called Headquarters. It's basically just sit in a certain spot, you get points. So I was able to rank up by just playing Headquarters and sitting in a certain spot by playing the drums. I played the drums to rank up in Call of Duty.
Man, oh man, I see people do challenges where they play games with unusual controllers. Off the top of my head, I know Tetrabit Gaming does that with Mario 64. But I remember watching a video of someone playing Team Fortress 2 with the steering wheel. They couldn't look up or down. They only had to go side to side. It was pretty funny.
That is funny. Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, let me tell you, that was hard, but it was worth it. I mean, double XP, I'm not missing out on that.
Yeah, one of those tricks. Oh, we got another comment from 1X. The gist of it was the teams were always 5v5, so we would make a party of 6 in Xbox Live on the 360, and of course one of us would be redirected to the opposite team. Whoever was would just throw the game. Oh, dude.
Wow.
That's funny.
That's funny. You know what that reminds me of? If anybody here remembers Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, they made the nuke in that game, which was a 25 kill streak. You had to get 25 kills in a row.
Oh man, I remember people cheesing this.
And they had a tactical
respawn thing.
Yeah. So what you would do is you would get 2 people, you get your friend to go on the opposite team, and he would just keep, doing the tactical insertion, and you'd keep killing him over and over. So what you had to do in that game is you had to keep checking the scoreboard to see if somebody had a huge amount of kills and somebody on the opposing team had a huge amount of deaths. And that's how you knew they were cheating. And you'd have to go find out where they were cheating.
I can't remember, but I remember a YouTuber whose content was Call of Duty at the time. He would actually go out of his way to sabotage this, which is a good thing to do.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah, and he would get messages from people. It's like, stop it, we're trying to get the nuke and all that. And he would just play it. He would display it on his video, like just sort of laughing about it. And it was annoying when it happened.
The nuke was super annoying because it killed every single person in the game.
Well, it was a game ender.
Obnoxious. Yeah,
it was a game ender.
Yeah. So, I mean, why they put it in, I don't know, because of course people are just going to.
They didn't think people would exploit because honestly, if you got that legit getting 25 kills in a row, you deserve that insta win. It was a cool idea, but that tactical insertion, coordinating with a friend who was on the other team, it was really bad. Wow. And Axe claims we clicked on it. Stop doing that. All right, click on it. Click on it.
All right,
click on it.
I'm clicking it. Axe actually got it legit.
I came close. I remember early on, if your kill streak reward, they would stack. Like I would get the helic. I would get the AC 130. I would get a bunch of kills. Then I would get the chopper. I would sit and hide like a bitch until I got the nuke. I think at some point they made it that your kills from your other kill rewards do not stack.
Right.
So you need to get natural kills. If you got like 10 kills from the helicopters, those did not count towards the nuke. That was a good change they made, because it was a little easy to grind it up if you had the right kill streak rewards.
Yeah.
I didn't play Call of Duty that often. I did play it with friends because it was back when I was heavy in the Left 4 Dead days, and we played that game as sort of like a distraction. But I remember all that. That was like very well known among people.
Right.
And the prestiging. Oh god, I hated that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That brings back memories. Wow. Another one that I used to do, it was in Gears of War 2. There was this. I could actually probably even just look it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
Anyway, yeah, unless you have anything else to add, you tell us one story. If we have no call-ins, I think we'll call it a day. But yeah, let's see what you got for us. Let me also bring up one Axis comment here while you're doing that. The hardest thing for me though would be getting the helicopter or the Highlander title. I don't remember what that is. Do you remember what the Highlander title is? I do remember they had titles and like banners on your character. I don't remember what the Highlander title meant. It has something to do with there can only be one, right? Like the movie.
Yeah. Oof.
Like maybe kill everyone in the game. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you remember how to get that? I'm trying to remember off the top of my
head. You
head.
had to survive the entire. Oh wow, that is difficult. Surviving the entire game. I'd assume most people got it would try to cheese it by hiding all game. That's an interesting title to have, though.
I used to try to do that, but the problem was people would get UAVs, or they would just find me with the heartbeat or whatever. They would just find me. So it
was hard because the maps were not that big, so people moved around. But you know that was a good. That's what you did. Well, I mean, it was still hard to do. That's probably what I would have done. I'm proud of my title in Superstars of being a top tier gamer, being top 1,000 in a particular record for a minigame, which I got top 30 in the Master game. It's gonna get harder and harder as longer a game is out, as more people play it and cheat. But I got it. I got the title, and hopefully less people get it because I want it exclusively to me. All right, you almost got that.
Yeah, so I'm going to show this real quick. It's going to be hard to see in the way this guy records it here, but I'm just going to show it. This one was in multiplayer of Gears of War 1. This is the first game. It was called crab walking. What you could do is you could do like a little exploit where your body it looked like you were running, but in reality you were actually the way the game worked is if
you were abusing the animations.
Yeah, you're abusing animations. So if you wanted to run, you were not allowed to run and shoot. But this, you were allowed to shoot while running. So it gave you a huge advantage. So you can see here, like, see how his body looks really glitched?
Yeah, the animations are all janky.
Yeah,
it looks
which
weird.
Means it's impossible for somebody to shoot you. Not impossible, it's very hard for somebody to shoot you.
Yeah, well, the way that, I remember, I never played Gears, but I remember the way it worked with the cover-based system. It was important. Your movement and where you were was important. And it looks like this guy's just, it is very weird looking.
See the way Marcus is moving there? He looks like really weird. Looks like he's constantly, like, running. Yeah, that's the exploit. So it's like it is impossible to hit these people. It's really
I like to assume they patched that out at some point.
No, it never got patched. And apparently, because they remade Gears of War 1 on the Xbox One, they remastered it, and apparently you can do it in that one too. So they never even bothered to fix it in the second time they remade the game.
Hey, brings back memories.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, probably getting pretty close to calling it. Last call for call-ins. Anyone have any anecdotes? I know, again, it's a weird time, but if not, we will, not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday, we'll try to, assuming we're both free. We will think of a topic. Anyone has a topic recommendation, drop it in my Discord. Also, be sure to follow me here on Twitch and also my YouTube. I'm going to try to make more YouTube content, and I will reiterate, I made the Nintendo 64 Iceberg. Proud of that one. 35 minutes. Took a long time to make. I had this, the biggest time waster was gathering stock footage. Like, for everything I talked about, I wanted stock footage, and it took a long time just to record all that and credit everyone too. So that was an exhausting video to make, but I enjoyed it. And it was tough to write for too, and it took a bit of effort for me to sit down and bang it out. Anyway, oh, you'll watch it tonight, X. Cool. I look forward to your feedback. Anyway, and also, I want to tell people that later today on my channel, I will be playing Mario Party, Superstars. Or eventually, I'll bring back the old ones again, but Superstars is the main one to play. I'll be playing it around 7 o'clock give or take. It's 4 o'clock right now. So that'd be 3 hours from now, give or take, maybe a little bit after, depending on when I have dinner. But yeah, check me out later today. Any other last final thoughts there, Death Row?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, guys, let us know what you want the next topic to be. If you want to talk about more exploits, I mean, I have a ton of them. Or if you want another topic, just give a suggestion. Definitely open to any topics you guys can think of.
All right then. Well, I think I'll call it. I'll set up a raid of someone I see streaming. Oh, I also want to give a quick shout out before I set up the raid to have an excellent day. I want to give a shout out to that one Byron. I know pretty soon I can't raid him because he's not live right now. He is going to be playing Pepsi Man, which is going to be hilarious. And he promised me he was going to 100% the game. So remind him to 100% the game when you see Byron play Pepsi Man. Anyway, I'm gonna rate someone else only because he is not live right now. Otherwise, I would have rated Byron. In any case, I will catch you all later.
Later, guys.
You all have a good one. All right, let me set this raid up real quick.